Welcome back to the Rogue Wave podcast. All right, it's the end of the year. It's 2022. What a long, strange journey we've come on the other. We've come out on the other side of it intact, and we've actually had a lot of pop culture to talk about, and a lot of movies, TV shows, and comics. I will defer. Do you want to go heads or tails? Do you want to go first or second? Do you want to give us, Hassan, your best, or you want to hear my best first?
No, you can go first.
All right. A lot of stuff out there. And I got to tell you, if you've been listening to the show, you can kind of hear my point of view has changed over the last couple of years. I'm actually kind of sick of all the comic book movies. I feel like they're all the same. I feel like I'm getting a lot of the same. I feel like the stuff that I am responding to is less about, who's going to be in the next Avengers movie, and more like a show like Three Pines, where we had actress Sarah Booth on last week. And we'll have another actor, sorry, coming on in a couple weeks from that show as well too. More human-driven stories, and one show in particular that I love. Now I'm going to give you my favorite TV show and my favorite comic book, because those are the two things that I enjoyed the most. Because as much as I'm not as excited for the comic book movies as I was in the past. Comics still king in my book, so I have a tie. Okay. TV show wise, Severance. It's on Apple Plus. I got turned on to it from a friend of the show, Chris Simon, who's one of the editors at IDW, and she's like, "You got to watch it. It's so trippy. It's so crazy." And it was one of those shows. A lot of times we watch these things for homework, right? We're going to review something. We're going to talk about something. We want to discuss something.
No.
This show, none of that. There was nothing involved in me watching the show. And I remember.
And yet we never talked about it.
No, because it wasn't homework. It was something, it had already come out. The show had already been out for months. And I said, what the heck is this thing doing at Comic-Con? Like, why is there a big Severance poster at Comic-Con? And my friend Chris was like, you got to check it out. It's amazing. And I did. And so I it's great. Very human driven, very very high concept. But it's very easy to kind of understand after the first, episode or two, when you get into the world of what they're building, to where basically what happens, you are cut off. Your work person, your work self is cut off from your personal self. So this company that they work for, you have to go through a process called severance to work there. And it's a brain procedure that actually they will physically give you surgery, so that when you step on the elevator every morning at 9:00 to go upstairs into this place of business, the next thing you remember is you're getting off the elevator. The hours of 9 to 5 don't exist. And simultaneously, your work self then activates. And so it's almost like you have two different, it's almost like two different people sharing the same body, because then they start to have all of these, kind of different personalities kind of building from it. And eventually, the work selves desperately want to understand what is happening on the outside when they're not around. And on the flip side, the personal people start to realize that something is up with this company, and maybe this thing that they signed up for isn't for the best. It's very Lost-esque in terms of creating mystery boxes. However, you'll be happy to hear it definitely delivers answers, as opposed to just kind of asking questions constantly. It still asks questions. I think it's very Lost-esque in the sense of the backdrop of it. The company that they work for, it's not this is not an ordinary company. Put it this way: what this company is doing, there's some weird stuff going on. And I don't know what's happening with the company, but something weird's happening. The people who work there are very strange, and not just the people that went through severance, the actual actual people working there. And it ends on an amazing double, hit you surprise with an amazing cliffhanger. So can't wait for season 2. That is my unabashed winner of 2022. And again, sci-fi, but not over the top comic booky. So Severance gets my best of 2022. Tying it is in the comics, Gambit. Chris Claremont with Will Portacio covers, relaunched, takes place in the niche of the Jim Lee era, the Chris Claremont Jim Lee era, between issues 266 and 268 of Uncanny X-Men, or I guess technically 266 and 270, right? So there's a span of time where Storm got reverted back to her childlike physical body, and that's how she met Remy LeBeau, Gambit, and there was always kind of an implication that they went on multiple adventures in between.
For the people at home. It's LeBeau for the people at home, but okay. It's not how the French pronounce it, but all right, go ahead.
That's true, but I think X-Men, I think the cartoon show pronounced it that way too, so I feel pretty good about that. And it's great. It's nostalgic, but it also kind of tells new stuff. It just feels like the kind of comics I grew up loving. So that is my personal favorite, my personal best of 2022. And I highly recommend it. All right, shoot, pal. What do you got?
For television?
No, just in general. Just pick one, or if you have something that is just as good tie-wise, you can tie it. I didn't pick a movie. I thought we've had some good movies. I can't pick anything. I don't remember a single movie I saw that I thought was worthy of my best of. So it doesn't have to be a movie. It could be anything.
All right. For television, it would be The Peripheral, which was
I've heard good things about that.
Fantastic. It's basically about it starts off, it's supposed to be about a virtual reality game. And the problem is, if I tell you anything more about it, everything becomes a spoiler after that.
Got it.
But it's really wonderful. And I've seen it's really convoluted and really heady. Like, it's really trippy,
I've seen commercials for it, or I've seen like promos for it, and I'm like, I feel like I would like this. So
yeah, I don't know if you would or not, because your tastes are weird. But it's not. Also, it's not very mystery boxy to that extent. The entire story is a mystery box, so it doesn't keep throwing curves at you. But it is really twisted.
Okay.
So that was that's for TV. I don't have a comic book. I don't read comic books as much as I used to, because it is what it is. I mean, I did read Bram Stoker's Dracula again, because Mike Mignola is his adaptation of that film is almost like image for image. It's probably one of the best comic book adaptations of a film I've ever read. And then there's The Batman. That was my movie, the best of. And for what it was, like, okay, I'm not a huge fan of the Nolan Batman movies. I like the way they looked. Kind of love the grittiness of it, or I don't know, the fantasy surrealism of it. But I didn't think the stories were very good, and I didn't think that that Christian Bale, as great an actor as he is, watch Ford versus Ferrari if you want to see an amazing Christian Bale film. I didn't think he made a good Batman. That's my issue. I think the weakest thing in those movies was his Batman. Now, not him, but his Batman, his portrayal of Batman. Also, Nolan had this very very strange aversion to showing you any iconoclastic imagery of Batman. So it was always kind of this weird kind of stilted imagery of him, like, standing on a building or whatever. Anything that made Batman kind of famous in the last, like, say 30 years of Batman, it just was kind of in there, but it wasn't. But the Batman with James Patterson, right? Which I didn't think
Robert
Pattinson.
So completely wrong. You got it completely wrong.
Well, I like Patterson too,
James Patterson. I don't. That sounds like a
famous
famous
novelist.
name.
He's a novelist. Sorry.
But he was like he invented Tupperware or something. But
no, he is a novelist. Anyway, well, author, novelist.
Definitely not the Batman then. Oh man, I just googled what he looks like. He doesn't. Yeah, he would not fit in the Batman.
Anyway, it's a really solid portrayal of the Batman character. It really gets into the head of Bruce Wayne without relitigating the death of his parents, and without retreading some ground, even though it is kind of got a very, very much a Batman Year One vibe, because he's very young as Batman in the story. And it looks like the Nolan Batman movies. So I got the best of both worlds. I got a really good Batman, a really good story,
Right.
and then I got the imagery that I really enjoyed. It's a little long, and it didn't crack $1 billion. So by our metrics, it disappointed at the box office. But I think for me, that was my cinematic height of the year 2022.
All right. I love it. I love everything. We got a normal year of movies and TV shows and some good comics that came out along there. Let us know your thoughts. Put it in the comment field. We'd love to hear your recommendations, things we should be checking out. No podcast next week. We are off. It's the holidays. Hassan, have a very wonderful holiday week, and Aaron as well, our producer, and for everyone here at Rogue Matter. Big stuff coming. February 15th is the day where we get a whole lot of big changes. So go to the Rogue Matter site right now, roguematter.com. Everything's still free. Still going to be up there. You can preview McBride and Groom #2. You can check out the entire graphic novel Making Markham. You can check out the entire series of Time Trader. It's all up there. It's free, and it's for you guys to consume. We will see you guys next year. Hi guys, Mike Dolce here from the Rogue Wave podcast. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes, and tune in every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for a brand new episode of the Rogue Wave podcast.